everyone, welcome to the show. Today is Thursday, July 17th, and I know it's been since June 12th since my last show. It's been a while. The weekly show kind of off schedule, you know, the last few months, but I've got a huge rundown of things to tell you. In my last episode, I was about to go off to my second last visit to see Marc in Mississippi and then go to Toronto to speak at Moses Neimer's Idea City Conference from June 19th to 21st. And that was a phenomenal event. I was so thrilled to speak there for the second time, my third year attending, and I was in the Civil Rights panel alongside Canada's former Justice Minister, Irwin Cotler, Liberal MP, and we sat there beside each other on stage speaking, him after me, about civil liberties, and that was a very exciting experience because a lot of people there were quite moved by the story and reminded that the battle goes on and Marc isn't home yet because he was meant to be speaking on that stage beside me. But that's also happening. If you guys follow my Twitter and my Facebook, you know the latest about Marc, but I'll get to that in a moment because right after Toronto's Idea City Conference, I had to come home to Vancouver and then fly back to the Green Rush Conference in Toronto. It was the second event by Green Rush Financial Conferences. The first was in Vancouver, and I spoke here, and the second one was out in Toronto, and there were a lot of people attending, and I spoke on the stage to about 200 to 300 people about the message of compassionate cannabis capitalism, that yes, we should be allowed to get jobs and make money and earn income off of this industry. Everyone should be allowed to have a fair shake at making money off of marijuana, but remember that this new industry is being built on the backs of people who have suffered and died and sacrificed and been killed in this war on marijuana, and we have to remember there are still people in prison. This is not like the tech boom. There are people still paying the price for this plant everywhere. So as long as people go into business and know that there's still a lot of issues that need to be addressed, please give a fair shake to those who have been unfairly punished by cannabis laws. And on that note, the Liberal Party, if they were elected, their policy says that they would forgive everybody's criminal record for pot possession. So those would all be dismissed and you'd be able to get rid of that off your record. So there's a lot of details. I'll get to the Liberal Party in a second. So after the Green Rush Conference, I came back to Vancouver for our Canada Day, Cannabis Day event, our annual rally at the Art Gallery, and the last one to be held at that venue because they're renovating the property. But it was also the last time we put up the big Free Marc banner after all these years because Marc is coming home. And I wore a red dress and I held up my flag and we had a wonderful time celebrating. It was one of the biggest ones yet. So many people selling so many different things on the grounds of the Art Gallery. Check out pot.tv and Cannabis Culture for all the videos and photos, and there's much more to come. It's a huge event, but we're so busy we can hardly even keep up with our own website here. It's amazing what my team is doing because on top of all these events and covering everything live and putting it on Pot TV, we have other events going on coming up. But on July 3rd, I had to get on a plane and go down and see Marc for the last time. My final visit with him in Mississippi, the 81st visit. And it was a 3-day visit because Independence Day, a federal holiday, fell on Friday. And that meant you can have an extra visiting day. So for 3 days, we got to talk and celebrate that it was the last time we were going to be in there. But it kind of was strange and surreal because a lot of people there I saw every time I went to visit, and they're going to be going there for months, years, much longer. So that kills me. I can't stand that that's still happening, and Marc and I are free of that, but a lot of people aren't. So Marc helped a lot of people fill out their clemency paperwork under the new Obama administration, looking to forgive people serving just unfair long sentences under drug crimes. So Marc tried to help out as many people as he can, and those inmates are still contacting me asking about him. But anyway, it was a wonderful visit, and Marc got shipped off to Louisiana, to a place called Waterproof, Louisiana, in a detention center called Tensas detention facility. He's not a prisoner of the United States government anymore. He's a foreign alien who needs to be deported. So even though Marc's sentence ended on July 9th and he was picked up on the 10th, it's been a week plus that he's been down there now past his sentence. But I've been talking to the Canadian consulate and sending messages to Immigration and Customs Enforcement, and we have paperwork that kind of suggests maybe he's already been ordered out of the country and could be home soon. But we don't know. That's up in the air. That's why I'm here in Vancouver just waiting. But that last visit, I can't believe it was only last weekend because it's been an insane time, or it was a week ago. It's been madness for me because right after that visit, I got stuck in the U.S. on not able to get home, but the media was already calling because Marc's sentence was coming to an end and Washington State was selling pot and opening their shops on the final day of Marc's sentence. How about that? That's fantastic. The very same state that extradited him and sentenced him and sent him away is the first state government to sell marijuana to its adult citizens on the final day of Marc's sentence. Beauty. But he's still down there because I guess there's still a lot of work to be done, so who knows how long they'll hold him. Hopefully not too long, but at any rate, Washington State, you guys, they're selling marijuana to their citizens, and they've run out of pot, but they're going to grow more because the people demand it, and that's going to happen. So the media firestorm first was about, oh, Marc Emery, his sentence is ending. But isn't it funny? Washington State is selling pot. And what are your plans next? Because as you guys know, if you've been watching my show and if you follow me online, the Georgia Straight, back in June 19th and 26th, put me on the cover saying Jodie Emery, Justin Trudeau's secret weapon. And it was an article just based on something Marc said about how Jodie might want to run for the Liberals. And then it was the top story. Liberals like Cannabis Queen, but the Liberal Party had no idea about this, and so they got phone calls, and everyone in the Conservatives were saying, oh, Justin Trudeau and his marijuana team, but we made it clear that no, we're not affiliated with Trudeau. I've never met the guy, I've never spoken to him. This is a grassroots effort, because if you have been watching my show, you know that for the past couple of years, the Vancouver East Liberal Riding Association has held marijuana legalization events, and I've spoken at 2 of them, one as recently as this previous April. So they have been the young Liberals involved in making this legalization happen and become party policy. And when they asked me if I would put my name out, I said, okay, sure, let's do it. You know, and that was like, let's go ahead. That sounds wild. And then that news story broke. And then the media firestorm broke around that. So all last week I was being asked about it. And then Canada's National Post newspaper, one of only 2 papers, put a front page story, not best buds, Team Trudeau mum on Prince of Pot's backing. And the inside story is about how, well, no, the Liberal Party hasn't spoken to us, and that's true. And they're a bit nervous because the Conservatives are attacking them on marijuana. But when you get to the inside, it's a pretty big photo and a pretty big story that says Emery's wife considers political run. So, you know, it's a little bit of a boost for the party. But then that went back and forth and created more and more media, and people are saying whether it's good or bad. And if you watch Sun News, and I don't know if you do because not many people do, but if you watch my Twitter, you'll see the links to Sun News where they've had me on many times talking about it. And then we had CBC write articles. You guys, I've done every national news. I've even had Reuters. I was talking with them, BBC, and it's big time news. So if you haven't been on Cannabis Culture and Pot TV following Marc Emery marijuana news, you probably should. But the Globe and Mail is our other big paper. It's huge across Canada, and they wrote a little article too about it. A little article, or half of the first story. But you know, pot activist wants to run for Liberals. Marc Emery set to return to Canada because Marc and I are going to go across this country and tell everybody they need to join the Liberal Party. Never before has a federal party ever offered legalization to a country like this. And it's either more years of Harper, or it's legalization with Trudeau, or it's not even legalization with Trudeau, but thank goodness it won't be Harper. And I mean that because of the harm he has caused to me and to other families and to our environment and to so many different areas. You guys watch my show, you know I rant about this. But point being, when I was asked to join the Liberal Party, I did. I went to liberal.ca and I joined. And they ask you why you want to join, and they offer marijuana as one of those boxes. So check it off with great pride, knowing that you can help elect a prime minister and a party that will legalize cannabis and at least stop the arrests for pot. At least to start first thing when they get elected and they make that happen. We'll stop the arrests, and then we'll build the beautiful system that we want to see. But anyway, so media, I've been talking a lot. As you guys know, I talk a lot, and I've been having great meetings and planning things out, and I was hoping Marc would be home for July 23rd because that's our 8-year wedding anniversary, but that's next Wednesday, and I don't think they're getting him out in time, but maybe next Wednesday will be his last day in prison, you know, down there. Maybe on Thursday they'll ship him out, so I don't know, we'll see. And then we have, on the 29th, the 9-year anniversary of the DEA shutting down the seed business, coming in here and issuing a statement saying that the marijuana legalization movement suffered a serious blow. 9 years later, Marc's coming home. We're going to make this happen. So I want you guys to go to the liberal.ca and join, because I got all sorts of fun things from people in the mail all the time. And I got these wonderful 2 shirts of this. Stop Harper, vote Liberal. And that message is absolutely true. And I got a wonderful little letter with it from someone saying, hi, Jodie, here's a couple T-shirts for you and Marc to wear in the lead up to the election. The message is pretty clear. This is what we have to do. This is how we do it. I had them made for our Liberal Riding Association members. And since you sent me my free Marc T-shirt, I thought I should return the favor. And then he says other nice stuff, but I'm going to cry because it's been an emotional time because things are coming together, but lives are on the line. So you guys should come down, join the Liberals with Jodie, come and meet me, come and see me, give me $20 for 2 years. Because the Liberal Party will legalize marijuana, but you have to help make it happen. And Marc and I, whether I run for office and become the candidate or not, I haven't even received the paperwork yet. There's still a lot of work to do. Someone else might want to be the candidate. I still got to win. I've got to get the nomination, and then I've got to actually run, and it's going to be a long, tough battle for a year ahead, or maybe just 6 months if Harper calls an early election, because that's the kind of guy that he is. But we have to be ready. I need you guys to join. I need you to help demonstrate that all this media, all this attention, all this talk about pot, we have to prove that it is an issue that should be a priority because lives are on the line, millions of jobs, millions of dollars, billions of dollars can be made and saved, and we have to do this for our country. So if you believe in legalization and you are an activist who wants legalization to become law, this is our chance. The Liberal Party will make legalization into law, and they're the only ones who can do it and who have said they will do it, and it's on their front page as a top 7 what we stand for issue. Do it. Go to liberal.ca, join up. We're going to be having a big campaign getting out the pot vote because the pot vote exists. They got out in Colorado, they got out in Washington, and they're selling legal pot and creating jobs for peaceful, good citizens and saving money from policing and sending it to schools and healthcare. We can do this here at home, but you guys have to join. So while we wait for Marc, join with me and Jodie and Justin Trudeau and the Liberals and go to liberal.ca and check out all our website updates for more because we've got so much in store. And speaking of store, I'm wearing a hemp shirt from my store, Cannabis Culture Headquarters, downstairs at 307 West Hastings Street. And if you've been shopping at our store, you know that you've been helping keep Marc healthy and safe in prison and helping me keep this message out there. And I promise to keep doing it until my dying breath, whenever that may be. I'm giving it all for liberty, and I want you guys to help me out. So get out there, join, follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and everything else, and do what you can to end prohibition and help free the people. I'll see you next week.